Welcome back to Simply Scratch Kitchen. Today is a cozy rainy day and we're going to be putting up a ton of blueberries and peaches. We picked 9 pounds and this is about 7. So I have been wanting to make blueberry jam for like the last year. Last year I ended up making a bunch of strawberry and I did not get the blueberries in time. So this year we made sure to get there early. We have a local farm, it's like 20 minutes down the road, and we went and picked and have a ton of really delicious, fresh, pesticide-free blueberries. I have so many canning jars in my cabinet right now that need to have something in them, so I'm going to be using these half-pint jelly jars. I think this is a perfect size for just having the right amount without it going bad. So I'm washing my blueberries, but we've still got a lot of little like sticks and twigs in here. So I'm going to have to go through and pick these out a little bit, kind of one of the downsides to picking them yourself. But I didn't mention that I actually got these for $4 a pound, which is like over half cheaper. All right, I've got my blueberries in the pot. They're all washed and ready to go. I really just estimated on the weight. I know there's about like 3 to 3.5 pounds of cups of blueberries in each pound, and I need about 10 cups here. I'm going to be trying some new pectin today, so it's the Ball Real Fruit Classic Pectin. Instead of getting the individual packets, this was just cheaper, and I actually got it on clearance somewhere as well. So we're going to be using this, sugar, and I believe a little bit of lemon juice. So I'm going to be following the recipe on the side here for how much fruit I need. And when this cooks down, we're going to measure out the fruit puree. So instead of measuring the blueberries, we're going to measure it once it's cooked down, and then we're going to add that with the rest of our ingredients here. And then while I was doing that, my daughter washed all these lids and rings. She loves to help me can, and we're not quite to the point of letting her do anything with the hot liquids yet, but she is an expert at washing lids and jars for me. So we got 2 things accomplished at one time, so we're moving right along. I've got my water going. I decided to use this smaller water bath canner today. We are water bath canning because we can do that with jam and fruit. And so I'm gonna use this one. It's a little bit smaller. Sometimes I just get overwhelmed with like huge pots on my stove. It adds a ton of heat. So we'll just run this probably twice to get all those jars done. So these instructions inside are gonna show us what we need. So everything just really has 4 ingredients. And so I am going to do the traditional jam recipe. And I'm gonna use obviously the blueberry recipe, and it'll tell you like how to prepare it. So you're gonna just crush up the blueberries and then you'll measure it once they're all cooked. And then we're gonna gradually add in our lemon juice, the pectin that's in this jar, and then we're gonna add our sugar as well. And each batch here makes 2 8-ounce jars, so that's half pints right here. That's what I have here. And I want to do probably 5 batches if I can. So I am going to need about 7 cups of fruit here. So I will show you what we're going to do once we start measuring that. I'm just getting these cooking over medium heat, and they'll start bursting and cooking down, so I'm just mashing them with the back of my spoon. Once they're really cooking down, I did pull out my masher just to get a little more juice out of these and break down those skins as well. Once those blueberries are all done cooking down into a puree, I'm going to start measuring them into my measuring cups. It's kind of nice to have several of these large ones, and I'm going to measure out 7 cups of the puree. I take out any extra that I have in the pot. I didn't have too much actually, but that'll be great on yogurt. And then I pour my 7 cups back into the pot, and we're going to start bringing that to a boil. I'm just bringing my fruit and lemon juice to a good rolling boil and then adding my sugar. Be sure to check the recipe for how many jars you're planning to make and get your exact measurements. I'm letting this boil for about a minute and then I will add my pectin. You're adding lemon juice to this recipe because in order to water bath can, we need this to have enough acid in it. Some fruits have enough acid on their own, like strawberries, and some need a little bit of lemon juice added to make them acidic enough. Again, be sure to follow your package instructions for adding your pectin because every recipe is a little bit different depending on whether you're using straight pectin or you're using sugar gel or a low sugar recipe. So follow your package instructions for your recipe and your amount of product. My jam has cooked for as long as it's supposed to, so we're going to get our jars going. I like to keep these on a towel to just keep the heat off my countertop, and I'm going to be using my funnel and filling these jars up with about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of headspace. I can never not make a mess when filling these jars, which is another great reason to have lots of towels on hand. So I'm just using a paper towel with vinegar on it to clean off the rims so that it will not prevent my lids from sealing. If you have something sticky like this, you definitely want to use white vinegar to clean off the rims here. I'm putting on my lids and rings and tightening them just fingertip tight. And then I will start adding them to my pot of boiling water. My pot can fit, I think, 6 jars. So I'm going to just get in as many as I can and get those going. I'll be boiling these covered for 10 minutes, but be sure to check your processing time for your product and for your altitude as well. Once those are in the pot, I'm going to start filling my other jars. You definitely want to fill them all as quickly as possible before your jam starts to set up. They can just sit on the counter and wait until you've got your other batch out of the canner though. I had one more jar than will fit in my canner, so I just put this reusable lid on it and that will just go straight in the refrigerator. My jars are coming out of the pot now and I love this part. We're just taking them out and again setting them on a towel a couple layers thick because these are very hot and they should start pinging pretty quickly and you'll be able to hear that they've sealed. As soon as those are out, I'm just adding my remaining ones back into the pot and getting those canned for 10 minutes covered. All of the blueberry jam is out of the canner and we ended up getting 11 half pints, including that one that I just popped right in the fridge. And all of our jars sealed beautifully. So this is going to be really lovely to have on the pantry shelf and to enjoy blueberries all year long. Because I already have everything out and my water is boiling, I decided to go ahead and pull out these peaches I've had in my freezer since August of last year. And I had put these up. I got them on the last day of peach season and they were like a bag of seconds. I got a really good deal on and they've been in my freezer and I hadn't been able to can them up yet. So I decided I would just go ahead and make some peach jam today as well. This is probably about 2 pounds of peaches, and since these were frozen, I decided to go ahead and just put them straight in the pan and let them steam and start thawing. As soon as they were thawed and were boiling slightly, I started using an immersion blender in here just to put them into really small, fine pieces for my jam and just help them break down a little bit more. This was the easiest way to do this instead of transferring it to a full-size blender, but you could do that as well. Again, I'm following the instructions on my pectin container, adding my lemon juice and making sure that I've got my fruit all measured out correctly. And then I will just be adding my sugar and my pectin as well. Once this boils for as long as it's supposed to, again, I'm going to get my jars out, and this amount made 5 half pints. And so that was perfect for my pot. And we just got these canned up, just like the blueberry ones as well. There's nothing more satisfying than taking old, sort of maybe messed up fruit and turning it into some really decadent jam that you get to store on your pantry shelf for the next year at least, and be able to have that fresh fruit flavor even through the middle of winter. Again, these processed for 10 minutes. They all sealed beautifully, and we got 5 half pints out of that one bag of peaches. We've got 16 beautiful jars of jam, and all of these jars only cost me $30 to make, which if you've ever bought organic pure cane sugar jam from the store, you know what a steal that is. If you like these types of money-saving homemade videos, be sure to subscribe to Simply Scratch Kitchen for more.